Okay, our video today, as I promised, is going to be on how to find north and navigate, do land navigation at night using the North Star, Polaris, and the Big Dipper or the Cassiopeia constellation, or, well, in fact, the Little Dipper is actually part of the North Star. The last star in the handle of the Little Dipper, which I'll show here shortly, is actually the North Star. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through these videos, these photos I took, because, bear with me, I'm holding my camera. I'm low speed, so. This is the outline of the Big Dipper. You can see these stars here, and this is the pot that the water, or whatever you want to say, goes into. This star here, the brightest one, is kind of orangish color, has a hue to it, yellow to orange color. That is going to be a reference point. So if your pot is like this and it's facing up, and you're looking at it, you would take that star and you would take this distance that's here and you'd count up 6 times the distance, which we can't do on this photo, but it would take you towards the North Star, doing 6 of these distances. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it would show you the North Star. I'll show you that here in some other photos. A little bit there again, the North double photo. I took these offline because they were a lot easier to do than me trying to do it with my phone and getting pictures, okay? So what you see here is, again, the Big Dipper. They call it Ursa Major. Here you go, the star pot's pointing up. And you'd go 6 times up here, and you think, wait a minute, there's the Big Dipper, right? Or that's the North Star. No, that's actually part of the Big Dipper. It's part of its bottom part of its pan. This is the North Star. So if you count straight out, 1, that's 1 there, but you count it as, you count it here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, that's your North Star. The other thing you're going to notice is on the other side over here is Cassiopeia, and I'll explain that shortly. It's a big W or a 3, however you want to look at it. It's kind of more of a 3 or a wonky W. We'll talk about that. It's directly across from the Big Dipper, and I'll show you that shortly, how that works. Helps you find it. Also, it has a reference that you can use to find it. There's the pointer going out to it, like I say, about 6 from the bottom. And if you're from the top, say you're up here at the top and the Big Dipper's upside down pouring the water out, you do the same thing except you do 5 and it puts you right on top there. So don't ask me why, I don't know the specifics. One's 5 and one's 6, but you'll get it close enough, you'll figure it out. So there again is the Little Dipper, and you can see that bright star that looks, you might be confused with the North Star, is part of the Little Dipper. But the actual North Star is the end of the Little Dipper's handle, and that is it right there. So when you see that star, it might confuse you, but if you go here and you count out, 6 going up, 5 going down, you're gonna run into the North Star. And like I said, I'll talk to you about Cassiopeia over here in a little bit. So, all right, next photo. 6 times distance pointing up, like I just said. I use these photos. These are a lot better than anything I could have done on my phone. So, trying to show you that. Next photo here is, this is let me take Cassiopeia, the thing off the thing here. There's Cassiopeia. Now, why I got this photo, it's an actual photograph taken from a man's perspective, holding his camera up. So what you do is you take your hand like this when you look up in the sky to give you a reference of how big it's going to be when you're looking at it in the Northern Hemisphere. You hold your hand up like this, you should be able to touch, find the pattern in your hand about like that, to give you a reference point of how big it's going to be. So you say, okay, that looks about right. There, your hand might be bigger or smaller, but anyway, you're going to be in a reference idea using your hand to see that that's about how big it's going to be. That'll help you a little bit when you get ready to try to find it. Again, here's the 2 angles. There's another folder in here that talks about them. But what you'll be doing is you'll be taking lines running from here out and from here in the center, like they're bows shooting arrows out. And where those 2 go together, you come straight down from it, short distance, you'll find the North Star. It's another way you can find the North Star, and we'll get into that shortly. All right. Hope these turn out okay. Okay, here's other things in the that can confuse you out there, so I'll give you an idea. It's a reference point. If you look here, you can see Cassiopeia in the bottom, the weird 3 or W as I call it. It's on the bottom, so that tells you now if you want to find the Big Dipper, it's straight up here. What you're seeing here is the North Star, and that's the Little Dipper. So you're gonna have to go across basically the North Star when you point out using those 2 pointers I told you, which will put you somewhere right about here, and you go over or down from it. Here in this point, you're gonna go to the right. It may be confusing for some, but once you do it a couple times, you'll figure this all out, because all of these look like they're rotating counterclockwise around it. So Cassiopeia, the Big Dipper, everything rotates counterclockwise around the North Star. At least that's that's what it looks like when you're watching it. All right, another photo of that, showing that. All right, there's the angles I was telling you about. What you do is you draw the lines through, and if you see right here, you go pretty much straight down from where they intersect, and you find the North Star. Like I say, the other star can confuse you as part of the Little Dipper right here, the other star, but you're not pointing towards it, and if you go, you're not going to go directly down from it. So usually most times you go right down. Sometimes you go right or left, depending on where it's at, but it'll get you in the general vicinity. It may not be the best method, but it does work. Then again here, shows you that the North Star is right there, okay? And we'll go to the next slide here. Same thing here, shows you all that. Let me go ahead and pull these over some more here. All right, so bear with me. Again, that, like I said, it's a little off, depending on where the rotation is and where Cassiopeia is at. You might find that it is, to the right, to the left, a little down to the left, a little down to the right. But, you'll be able to figure it out once you get out there and you start practicing this stuff at night when you go out there. The Boy Scouts know how to do this stuff. You should be able to do that. There is the Big Dipper, and if you go directly across the Big Dipper this way, go through the Little Dipper, you'll find the Big Dipper is up here. And I'll try to find you some more photos. It's quite a big constellation. These constellations are pretty large, so you have to, there you go. Again, you count, you're going up here, so you count 6 going up. There's the North Star. You also have Cassiopeia, so you do the lines coming out, and they would put you right over here, and you go down, you got the North Star. So that'll help you out a lot to find it. And again, you can see there's that bright star. It may or may not be confused with the North Star if you're not careful. It's the pan pointing up on the Dipper, so Little Dipper. All right. I'm not a star guy. I'm not going to give you all the names of everything. I just want to give you an overview of how easily it is to find north. Using that and other reference points, you can actually, navigate at night a lot easier with this. There we go again. The pot is being turned upside down. So in this case, it's a shorter distance, so it'd be 5 going down to that star on the end of the handle. There's the other star. It could be confusing on the Little Dipper when it's turned in. Okay. And next, again, 5 going down. And then there we go. This is a reference, a picture of the stars. Now, like I told you, if you go directly across from the Big Dipper or there, you got the 3 or the W, whatever you want to call it. And if you were to go out from there with the arrows out here and out from that one out here, you'd go right there. That's the North Star. There's the other bright star I was telling you about that's kind of bright, not quite as bright as North Star, but it's in the Little Dipper. That's the Little Dipper right there. And it is, close to it. But you'll be able to figure it out. Once you do this a few times, you'll find this stuff is so easy. You'll be like, it's so easy, a caveman could do it, right? Isn't that what they all say? Okay, be sensitive to cavemen. All right, next photo. Same thing, showing the North Star. I put a lot of extra photos in here just so you see. It's a Little Dipper, Big Dipper here, showing that angle, all that. Just kind of different photos people broke down. This way you can tell angle, basically 30 to 40 degrees. If you you lift your arm up from the ground, it went up 30 to 45 degrees, you'll find the North Star, how high it will be in the sky. So if you're sitting there going, well, I'm not sure if that's it, and you hold your arm up in a Heil Hitler, or whatever the heck you want to call it, they kind of put theirs at a 45-degree angle, I think, right? At least from movies I've seen, not from actual experience. That'll give you about an estimate of what angle it's at. So that's just a quick photo to kind of give you an idea. And you can see in that photo also, there's also Cassiopeia, which means this is part of the Big Dipper. Oh, well, over here, I should say. Okay. All right, next photo, because we're talking big here. Big Dipper, Little Dipper, North Star again. These are all drawn. I don't know if these are going to help you, but I took these photos I think these are some kids' photos that are on here that they took, and drew in more photos. You guys can probably look at these and figure it out, you know, what you're looking at here, you know. And then you'll be able to see the Little Dipper and then the North Star. And then you should be able to find, well, you know, there's the Big Dipper. So where's the big three, right? Over here. So anyway, once you start practicing this stuff at night, I recommend you do it. There's the 3 or the W. I like to call it W. Most people call it a 3 with the 2 different angles. I could, you know. And again, Cassiopeia. Again, another photo. Another one of Cassiopeia. I'm doing this just so you know, you get a chance to practice. Please go ahead and practice. Looking at photos on my computer and photos I've got don't really help you. And me, you know, going out there and showing a camera might help a little bit, but it's my phone sucks and it won't do that. So again, Cassiopeia, draw it out, go straight down. Here's your North Star. All right. Okay. Same thing again, Cassiopeia, pointing up, so you can go 6 up, 6 of these distances between those 2 stars. And also Cassiopeia is almost directly across from the North Star, from the Big Dipper. Come out, do that, and in this case, you're not coming down. You're coming down at an angle, basically, but, you know, same concept. So you play with this stuff enough, you'll know. It's just easy. Once you do this a few times, it'll be so easy. You'll be like, okay, I get it. You know, if you haven't done this already, most of you may already know this, and they're laughing at my videos, but I want this for folks. I do this, my daughter set this up for me so I could give some knowledge, stuff I've learned doing survival schools and whatnot. So that's why I do this, not to make money, not because someone ever gets a bunch of subscribers, not like I'm ever going to be a YouTube sensation. It's just to give back, and maybe someday my daughters look at it and go, hey, remember when Dad did all that? We talked them into it. There's Cassiopeia, Big Dipper over here, hiding in the trees. What's nice about this is if you are in the trees and this goes down below the skyline or trees, if you find Cassiopeia, you can usually find the North Star that way, find the Little Dipper and find the North Star that way. So it's another way because like I say, rotate counterclockwise, remember that. Rotates counterclockwise, so this may be here one time and it may be upside down one time. So they do appear to rotate counterclockwise. Same thing again, going up, you know, you're gonna do 6, going down, you can go 5. Polaris, there we go. What do we got here? And that's about it, you know. Then I thought that'd help you out. If you're out there, remember counterclockwise, do the 45-degree angle. All will help you find. Once you get north, you know, it'll help you a lot. You know where south is at from then. The next video I'll do after this is going to be on the moon, and I'll be working on that. Different times of year, like in the summer, it's more southerly, and it makes an arc just like the sun. And the same way you can take a stick and get a shadow stick, basically, and learn direction with that. And even in some cases, if you know the season, you can estimate your time, if you don't have a watch or whatever, on you. So you can estimate time and direction with the moon at night also, even during the winter months when it's more directly overhead. Well, there's my video, and I hope you enjoyed it, and hope you learned something from it. And like I said, I'll do the next one on the moon. Hopefully these are helpful. If it is, great. If not, well, then, you know, there's a lot of other videos out there, I'm sure, that show this stuff that probably better than mine, but that's what I got.